I didn't even drop an episode on Monday because my son took over the studio for a school project. And honestly, it was really worth it. But while all that was happening, I needed to make a big decision. HVAC starts on Thursday for the midterm rental. And I'm deciding if I need to use hard money funds or the monies that I received from the most recent sale. And this is actually where real estate is starting to get real. Welcome back to the Ricky Ricardo Show. As I told you guys last week, the first property I purchased back then is completely sold. I'm done with that. If you didn't listen to, go back to the episode and get some information regarding that. But I completed a full cycle. It was a turnkey long-term rental. I don't know if I will do that again. I'm pretty sure I will not. But just to share that with you guys, I did a full circle in that and I learned quite a bit. I realized the slow cash flow, though it is cash flow positive, wasn't enough for me. It wasn't enough for what I'm trying to do. And so I do have another property in Indiana that's actually performing pretty well. This first property that I got rid of was underperforming. There was a lot of headaches tied to it. One of the big reasons I got rid of it is because the renovation, the rehab to get it rent ready was going to cost almost $25,000 to $30,000. It was a $90,000 home. So I'm curious if you have any feedback or information on that, what you would have done, but it's a cheap home and I thought it was too much. The money I would have put down into that, I probably could have got a home or put a down payment here in California and tried, the midterm rental out this way. But it's helping me think of freedom from rentals a lot different. And that's one thing I shared with you guys before is you'll hear it over and over again. You'll hear that, $200 of cash flow a month can be wiped away with a air conditioning repair, with a roof repair, with these major appliances, these major things that can take place, and it can set you back a few years. That's a real deal. It's really scary for a lot of people when you have rentals because not everybody's going to take care of your property as if it was your prized possession. I always tell people I can wash my vehicle better than the car washing station or those employees. And that's why I'd rather do it myself because I really detail and I get into it because if I let somebody else do it, I'm not going to be as satisfied. But again, freedoms are different for everybody. For me, I'm trying to use this as a fast moving vehicle. I want to fast track this as much as I can. And the $200 a month, I may come to a realization that I just need to stack those and move on, but I'm not there yet. I think I've had some success, like I said, in a flip. And so I'm wanting to see bigger cash flows, bigger returns. And I think I might be there. I haven't fully tried the midterm rental, but that's why I'm moving into that realm because the numbers on a midterm rental, gosh, I mean, in a month, in 2 months, I can make the amount of cash flow I would make in a year for long-term rents. But I know something that you guys are going to say is like, well, is it always going to be occupied? Aren't you going to have vacancies? More than likely I will, right? A lot of people that do Airbnbs and midterm rentals, they always talk about vacancies, but with the numbers, and again, I didn't just jump into this crossing my fingers and hoping that a midterm rental can get me a lot of cash flow. I have some numbers and some analytics that can tell me this is a decent play. This is a strong play. It should be. I haven't experienced that, and that's why you guys are here, and that's what I'm going to share with you guys. I put a decent amount of money down, and this is just a learning process, and you guys are here to ride along with me and listen and see exactly if I can make this happen. Different from a lot of financial investors or gurus out there that tell you what they did in the past and how they were successful. I guess I can do that with my flip. I can do that with, my second property, but it's real recent. And again, I've always wanted to follow somebody or talk to somebody that was in the beginning stages of this journey. And so that's what my goal is, to continue to give you guys. There's several of us that are trying this journey and letting you guys know real time what is taking place. So I salute those individuals that are also sharing their journey. And I challenge you guys to go support those individuals for keeping it completely real. I'm hoping they are. I imagine they would be, being the little guy, but let's see where we can go with it. That's what I want, and that's the goal. Selling that first property didn't give me liquidity. It gave me clarity. The reason it gave me clarity is because I now know that I don't want that. Right now, in my investing time and my experience and where I'm trying to go with my goals and my vision board and all those things, that first property wasn't going to help me get there. It just wasn't. And so I've shared it before. I've talked about it before that, people say, wait, that's a long game. I get it. But I felt like in the experiences I've had and the vision and goals that I know I want to go with or go to, that it was an underperforming property. It's been a couple of years and I had to get away from it. So that's that in a nutshell, right? But I got money from it. I made my money back and then some. It wasn't life-changing money, but I won, and I won a lot of lessons in that. So I take that as a huge success. That's a huge win. But I got some money back, so I'm more liquid, but the money never sits long. And I instantly or immediately have another expense. And I have a big expense because with the midterm rental, I need to make a decision how I'm going to fund some of these things. So, because I have a Dutch loan for my hard money loan is how I acquired this property, I only have to pay interest on the draws that I actually take. So right now I have a loan out for the purchase of the property and I haven't had a draw yet. So I'm not paying any interest on those monies, which is nice. And I need to decide, do I want to use some of the monies that I got from the home I just sold just to pay for this HVAC, or do I want to use a draw? So I'm going to have to dig deep and research a little bit, nothing too crazy. It's just basic interest rate and fees and all that, and see what's going to be cheaper in this. Like I said, it's not a full gut renovation. Rehab is a lot smaller. And if I'm going to forego the kitchen renovation for now, then the expenses should be lower. Once we're done with the HVAC system, we'll make it look pretty, make it look modern as much as we can. And then we're going to actually try some contracts early on in hopes that maybe those contracts actually fund the kitchen renovation. I need to balance flexibility and interest. So how much liquid do I want to be? How much interest do I want to save? Because either move, whether I use hard money funds or my own money that's not being put into an investment vehicle to get a certain amount of interest, like there's an interest game in this. So I have to protect liquidity though, because I had my team look at other properties since the last episode and we decided to move away from them, but we still are, or I still am actively trying to find that next deal. I feel like I'm in a position to take on multiple deals, but it just has to make sense for me. And so I'm not going to rush just to say I got another door, another home, and cross my fingers and see if that works. I'm trying to be strategic, but if I can find a really good deal, then I need to have money, at least a down payment to put towards another hard money loan to acquire an acquisition loan to acquire that property. But every level of this requires big decisions, and you sit down and look at the entire portfolio, all the monies that are available to me, and just try and be strategic as much as you can. I'm learning in this. We'll see what I end up doing. If you have any thoughts about using the hard money funds, since I already have the loan versus using the proceeds from the sale, let me know. I'll take your opinion. I'll take your information and we'll go from there. I think I have an idea what I'm going to do, but I'm not 100% yet. And so I will let you guys know in that regard, but I will take your opinions and information if you think it'll help me. So the HVAC isn't sexy. The HVAC is not exciting. It's not pretty. It's just what people expect. Every home needs to have an air conditioner, HVAC system, right? And if it doesn't, instantly it feels outdated. That's the nice piece, but that's not something that someone's going to walk in the home and say, wow, beautiful, white, modern walls. That HVAC system just, oh my gosh, it's top tier, top of the line. Nobody's doing that. But what I have now is window units. I need my guests or my customers to come into the home and feel like they can come home and relax. I'm not sure if you've been into the Midwest, but a lot of areas, north, west, east, south, Midwest, it gets hot. It's in the summer, it gets cold in winters, and you need a reliable system that can actually pull out cold air or hot air. And that's going to make money because, like I said, that's what's expected. If I'm going to rent a property, I'm going to go right to the thermostat and I'm going to get comfortable. And that is what it is. Comfort matters in this. The tenants, they're going to be blue collar workers more than likely in this market that I'm in, but who doesn't want a comfortable place to lay down in, right? It makes it more competitive. I'm sure I can try it without that, but then the first time you're going to get some bad reviews. People may not like it. And they're just going to go pick another home that can give them that comfortability. It helps with long-term value. It helps with the refi, which I'm going to need to do at some point. I'm going to have to refi into a DSCR 30-year term. But like I said, the HVAC isn't sexy, but this might be the most important upgrade in this entire deal. Hands down. Comfort changes everything for a midterm rental. And that is why I will be spending $12,000 for a comfortability system. But I'm thinking differently now. I'm not just blindly chasing properties just to say I'm in one and let you guys know that I have another one, right? That was excited early on, but at this point, if it doesn't make me money and reduces my liability, I'm all for that. I want intentional investments. I want higher cash flows. I'm not afraid of a flip. So I'm actively looking for those right now. But I want cash flows and monies that actually impact my life. There's things that I like to do. There's things that I need and I want. And then also to try and reposition my family to be better off early. I have a good paying job. I'm able to work quite a bit. So that W-2 is the lifeline. That's nice. Obviously, it's super nice to have, but I'm learning to think like an operator, like a business owner. And so these are going to take higher risk, which then gives higher rewards to fast track what I'm trying to do. And that can change anyone's life. That can change my life because I'm chasing cash flow that actually changes my life. I'm not just willing to limp in and say, oh, I got a property and I'll take advantage of it, 30 years from now. I think there's a mix that needs to be had, and I will eventually get some of those. But right now, it's see what I can do now to scale and get as much money as I can. That's what it is, and that's a mindset change. That's a mindset shift, and it's also being real. I think we get excited, or that I got excited to own multiple properties, and I did, and I wasn't getting crazy numbers, so that reality hit fast and hard. It's like, hey, you got to do something different. You actually have to get active if you want to make a difference in your job and in your paycheck and your monthly income to pay those bills or to, be able to splurge a little bit and move the needle to continue this chase towards some type of financial freedom. That's all I can really ask for at this stage of this journey. And like I said, I've been super vocal, super realistic with you guys, my thoughts and everything on why. But you guys are awesome. Thank you for your time as always. That's just a quick update, everything that's going on right now. It is a big deal for the property because I'm not doing too much to it. So this would be the biggest purchase. So the HVAC system is going to start to go in. The cool thing is because of the relationships I have, they're not expecting any money up front like the last ordeal I had with the flip, which was a whole saga nightmare in itself for mediocre work, I should say. But nonetheless, we're moving forward. The midterm rental is underway. I'm excited to get there. Probably looking at another month of renovations to get it ready and look at some contracts, but super excited. That's where I'm at right now. Thank you for your listen. Subscribe if you haven't, and let me know what you think. I switched the podcast. I did 80 something episodes without video. The show's now on YouTube. And if you like the videos, go down to the comments and and let me know what you think. I'll respond to you as soon as I can. But it's Wednesday. Thank you for your patience and me not dropping the episode. I've shared some funny clips of what my son did in the studio for a school project on my Instagram at Ricky Ricardo Show. Don't forget to follow, leave a review, and I will talk to you guys on the next episode with as many updates as I can. Thank you so much for your time, and take care.